All right, guys, so this is part 5 of the LimiTax series. The LimiTax is a um, uh, tax reform concept that I'm working on. The idea is to limit the ability of the government to tax its citizens. And today, we're on part 5 of the series, and we're going to talk about road reform, how this will reform, or how this could reform how we do roads. So let's see. So I have a lot of friends who are libertarian and anarcho-capitalists, and they are of the belief that we ought to privatize the roads. Now, I'm open to hearing those solutions, but first I'd like to submit my own proposal. So if we were to implement the limit tax, and I've described this tax reform in previous videos, so check out this series. What would to stop the government from going cheapo on road construction? Because with this new system, their new incentive is to spend less money on the roads. So why don't they just cut the corners with the roads? And furthermore, who will build the roads? I say that tongue-in-cheek for my libertarian friends who might be watching this. So in this new system, the roads would be private property, but permanently designated for public use. So a private individual or a business or a nonprofit would own the deed to that section of road and that section of sidewalk. We'll get into that a little bit more later. And kind of like a landlord-tenant, where the landlord has to do the repairs. So the private individual has to keep the quality of the road up to certain standards set by the government. And they must let people use the roads and the sidewalks. I'll refer to them collectively as roads. They must let people use the roads without charge. In exchange, the government must pay the private entity in tax credits or rent. It's kind of like rent. So you, as a homeowner, would get an opportunity to sign a contract called a stewardship. So the stewardship is basically like the deed for that section of land. And so you would get ownership of that plot of road and the sidewalk in front of your house. And it would also state that you agree to let other people use the road free of charge, and you would agree to keep the conditions at a certain standard, no potholes, smooth surface. And in exchange, the agreement would guarantee that the government will compensate you in tax credits. I think I might say this a little bit later in the notes, but they would have to pay you market value for what for the section of road that you have. So yeah, there you go. The first thing. So the tax credits would be based on market rent for the square footage of that plot of land. There would probably have to be a whole other formula to figure out what that would be worth. And then it would be multiplied by the traffic. So if you get more traffic if you get about an average amount of traffic for the roads in your town, you'd get 100% of that rent amount. If you get less than average, if you live on a dead-end street and there's not a lot of people driving through your neighborhood or down your street, you'd get less than the rent value. And if you're on Main Street, you'd get more than the rent value. So that's just one suggestion that local governments can take or leave. So the tax credits would go into an account, and you can use that account to pay for expenses of keeping up the roads. And if you fail to maintain the standards, the government can charge that account, um, and fine you as well for not maintaining the standards. Um, at the end of the year or the quarter, you can cash your tax credits, and it's profits. So um, and that would be the remaining tax credits. Uh, so let's see. So the incentives here, the government wants to reduce the cost of roads, and the people want to increase their tax credits and profits. So the payments would be restricted to a formula, and if private citizens don't take care of their roads, they can be charged up to everything in their tax credit account. Um, Now, this is unless they intentionally damage the road, then they can be charged from their personal funds. So if I go out there and I take a jackhammer to my section of road, then uh, the government can charge not just my tax credit account, but my personal funds. And I think this would start a whole new industry, basically like we have property management, where people manage rental properties. We would have road management, where there would be businesses that would manage your section of road for you, for a share in the profits. So how can you help with this? So you can help by spreading the word. If you like this video, don't forget to share it on Facebook and YouTube. Like our page on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. And share your thoughts below. Like I said, this is just a concept that I'm working on, and I'm looking for input. We're trying to make this idea, this concept, as ideal as possible, and then we negotiate how to achieve that ideal. And then you can join our Patreon so we can get more messages like this out there, to more people. Thank you.